Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Missing Piece podcast. My name is Danielle Griffiths. I'm here with my co-host, Brooke Benevento. We are jumping back into our discussion on manifestation. Take it away, Brooke.
Millions of American families. Yeah, and then they came up, it's a word that they came up
All right, we'll move to the next question that people ask me. Why do some people manifest and others don't? I love this question. I love it. I love it. I love it because everyone is manifesting all the time. The only difference between what you're manifesting and someone else is manifesting is your awareness about what you are manifesting. So most people are creating their life by default. They're repeating inherited beliefs, their fears and their patterns, their social heredity. And once you become conscious of your thoughts, you begin co-creating with intention instead of reacting, like we just talked about. So Romans 12:12, I want to bring this in. Be not conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And we talked a little bit about this earlier. And so I want to remind you that your conditioned thoughts have you in a spiral of thoughts that are producing your outcome over and over again. Everything that you have ever thought of is right in front of you. If you stop for a moment and think, I wanted to be married. I wanted to have these kids. I wanted to have that car. Maybe I wanted to have this house. I wanted to have this apartment. I wanted to have those books. I wanted to have that bed. I mean, literally, look around your life. You have been constantly saying, I want that, and you're being given it. And then we're somewhat complaining about what we've been given. So it's so important to really start capturing your thoughts. And once you start capturing all of these thoughts, you'll start to see your life. Oh, wow. All of my thoughts are just a movie really playing out right in front of me. And it's the most amazing and eye-opening thing that you will ever experience once it clicks and you see it.
I've heard you refer to it also like it's a computer program. And so you're playing the same computer program again and again. If you like your program, awesome. Bravo.
Right. Yes.
Like we're happy for you.
If you're
not, ask yourself, why do you keep putting the same program in? And one of the things I've learned is when you're wanting to make change, you need to change up your schedule and your routine. I've seen people say, try brushing your teeth with your opposite hand than you normally do. And it feels weird, but it does kind of activate. Oh, I'm not just mindlessly going throughout my day, or when you drive home and you don't remember the drive home and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't get into an accident.
Yeah, that's a trip.
There are different parts of our brain. I know. Different parts of our brain are activated when we do things that are outside of our normal routine. So if you don't like your routine, change it. If you don't like your life, change it. You have the ability, and society and the world is kind of lied to you and lied to us and said, no, you can't make change. You might be able to make little changes, but you can't transform your life. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Of course you can.
But you can.
Of course you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. No, that's a great idea. And because we are very habitual, where there is a program playing. And as long as that recording, that program keeps going like this, and you don't put a pin in it and stop it, you can't reverse it. You can't change it unless you have some real awareness. And this is why we call it somewhat of an awakening, right? And I think people are starting to wake up to more of the fact that they have a lot more control over their lives than what we have thought. And this is going to be completely life-changing for a lot of people who really take this seriously, that are listening to us right now, and take this seriously and start to practice just small things, just capturing your thoughts. That in itself is huge. really life-changing.
I agree. And reach out to us. I mean, one of the things that we wanted to do with this podcast was to help people, not just women, everyone. We want to help people with all the trial and error that Brooke has gone through, that I've gone through, that Brooke's gone through with her clients. I mean, we want to take that knowledge and help make you happier and more content with your life, because believe me, as a recent graduate of the Brooke Benevento School of the Great Awakening, it is life-changing. And I don't mean just a little bit. I have gone from kind of going through my days, looking forward to something down the line, to every day is Disneyland. Every day is a gift. Every day is an opportunity to do something awesome and enjoy my friends and family, enjoy my life. And once you have that mindset change, every day is Saturday.
It's
really fun. Even work,
and we're
even chores, like everything is different.
Yeah. I always say that the grass is greener, not on the other side, but in my own lawn. And the trees are greener and the sky is bluer. And and that's what we want for you. We just want you to have peace. We really do want to spread peace. And this is how you do it. You do it internally first. And then once it's internal, then the outer will show up like magic almost. It just happens. It's just
not overnight. But
no,
it does happen.
It can be. Yeah. It can be. Yeah. But we are very stubborn human beings. And this can take, a little bit of time to start understanding. So, okay. Another question I get is, while I'm manifesting, how can I really connect that to who I am, my identity? And so again, your outer world reflects your identity. So if you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will continue to create the struggle for yourself. You have to change your self-concept of yourself to see the results follow. The subconscious mind acts on who you believe you are, not what you say you want again. So again, let's pull some verses in here. Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Okay. Your heart and your mind are connected. Guard it. This also means guard it from people who are negative, people that are always talking about their struggles. Get away from those people if you can. Take a breather, because we are who we hang out with. And I think this is a lot of what this is talking about too, is really guarding ourselves, guarding our minds, because again, what we're producing in here and what we're asking God for and what we're co-creating is in our outer world. And I'm going to tell you something about your heart and your mind is you cannot fool God. And you especially cannot fool yourself. So believe that you can do great things. Believe that you are worthy of unbelievable things, and you will eventually experience those things in your reality, because God wants you to experience those things. The fact that you're even here on earth, I mean, it takes I don't even know what the saying is, 7 trillion sperms were whatever, right? And the fact that I don't know what the saying is, but right, you're number one. Yeah. Yes, you're number one. Remember that. So I mean, just think about the fact that you're even here. I mean, it's mind blowing to think about that. And if you think that you're not here for a reason, you are very mistaken. And God is continuously asking you, Source is continuously asking you to tap in to what it has for you, because it wants you to be abundant. It wants you to be at peace. It wants you to enjoy this one life that you get. And I get really passionate about this. I get really passionate about this, Danielle.
And I love it because I feel like I get to add kind of what I've learned from you and what I've learned in my own, going down my own rabbit holes. But something I've heard, again, it's sports philosophy, psychology, but it applies, is the lemon test. When you're thinking about something, don't just think about it and visualize it. Use your senses. So if you are trying to get a promotion at work, obviously take the action that will make you worthy of the promotion, but also visualize it. Visualize how you're going to feel. Visualize the goosebumps you get when you're excited. And so what the lemon test it's just what it sounds like. Imagine eating a lemon. What does the skin feel like when you touch it? What do your taste buds do when that sour taste hits your mouth? Adding sensory details help make it more real, and in my experience, helps me go towards it with more intention, instead of just, again, I think of the GIF, whatever, of the little boy going like this and just, really hoping. That's not what this is about. It's about co-creation, as you've mentioned, and then taking action and getting yourself ready to level up. And we all have that ability. But again, society tells us, no, if this is where you're at, then hopefully you can work for 40 years and then retire. I mean, that's life is much more than that. I'm not working towards retirement. I'm working towards today. I'm working towards tomorrow. I'm working towards the abundant life that I know we have the ability to have once we start thinking that direction, get over our addiction to drama, which seems to be overcharged these days with
number one. That's the number one addiction is drama. So let's do a podcast on that.
I love it. Let's do it.
Yes. I do want to say something that you brought up, something very, very important. And I want to talk about this because it is the gateway to co-creation with infiniteness is what Napoleon Hill talks about. And a lot of this is also from his book. If you've never read Think and Grow Rich, read it. It's mind blowing. If you don't read it like a novel, read it like your study guide. Really take it a couple pages at a time, absorb it. But something that he talks about in that, one of his principles, is imagination. And what you just said it very, very well, was that we have to go to a place, and this is sometimes what people will call prayer, meditation, imagination. We have to go into our minds. We have to relax our bodies. We have to play out a movie in our mind and very vividly, if you can smell, if you can see it, if you can taste it, I've done this. I've done this with multiple things. I do this every night. Sometimes I do it a little bit more for certain things. But one thing you have to do is you can't just see the movie. Okay, playing out. The imagination doesn't work like that. You have to put yourself into the movie. Put yourself inside the movie and see yourself almost somewhat as an observer at first, and then step into the person and play that movie out in your mind with emotion, with the lemon test, right? There are times when I have cried imagining something that I want. And when you get to a point where it is such a deep desire for you that you want this is your connection to source. This is when you know that this is where God wants to lead you. This is why this feels good. If it didn't feel good, then it's probably not for you. But if you can feel all these emotions and use your imagination, that is the key. The key to co-creating is step into this imagination that you have. We have it for a reason, and we had it when we were kids. And then somewhere along the line, right? Yeah. Our third mind is working really good these days. And we can talk about third mind later, but it's when we were kids, that's what we had. We had imaginations. We used them all day long because we came here to be co-creators. But as we grew up, social heredity takes a hold of us, and our imagination is lost normally around 12 years old at puberty. Wow. Something clicks. We realize that, you know what? This imagination world that I've been living in must not be real. Because look at my parents. They feel they're tired. They're stressed. My school teacher is telling me something. Maybe my religious teachers are telling me to fear, not to have faith, right? And so we're going through all of these social heredities. We're watching the nightly news and we're like, wait, there's actually, bad stuff happening out there, because when we were kids, we didn't know about any of that.
No.
We were living in our imagination. Sorry. No, you're good. Yeah. We were living in our imagination.
Yeah, I think about when that bell would ring for recess. And if you've ever been near a elementary school playground when recess gets out and you hear the screams, and I remember just sprinting to the tetherball line because you had to get in line to play tetherball or foursquare. And just the only stress I had was studying for my spelling tests. Like that type of joy and just daily fun is what I'm trying to put into my adult life, because it was so fun being a kid. And then we start getting where we're looking towards high school, we're looking towards after high school, we're always looking towards the next thing instead of saying, why am I not celebrating right now? Because it's a good day, and I'm going to have that childlike mentality, and I'm going to get joy out of watching a butterfly, fly by. Like there's just so much to be happy about and enjoy about life. And I think, like you said, we put our heads down and think, okay, I just have to work hard and pay my bills, and at some point I'll be happy. That's not how this works.
No,
that's not how this works.
It doesn't.
At all.
It doesn't work like that. And I like what you said about the present moment, because listen, we cannot manifest from the past or the future. The only place that you can co-create with God is the present moment. That's why I think it's called the present, because and God is asking you, stay in this moment right here, because if you are anywhere else, if you're in the past or you're in the future, you're going to miss all the signs that's being sent to you if you're somewhere else. If you're zoned out, you're zombied out, you're not paying attention, all the things that you've been asking for are coming to you. The problem is you're not seeing them as opportunities. And so stay, like you said, stay in that present moment as much as you possibly can, because that's where God is giving you all the signs. That's where all the good stuff is. Like, that's where your chocolate cake is. That's where the sprinkles are. Like, I'm telling you, it's really true. And the moment that you're like, oh, I'm thinking about the past again, it's like, no, that the past is not going to show me where I'm going. The future hasn't even been here yet. I'm focusing on right now, what is happening. And yes, when we imagine something that we want to experience, yes, we are somewhat thinking of, yes, this future thing, but we're not putting an expectation on it. We're just having fun. We're just imagining. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Be a kid again. Like Danielle said, be a kid again. It's really a lot of fun, and you can still do adult things and do kid things and be an adult at the same time. So I really do love that you said that.
Thank you.
So kind of the last question here that I get a lot is, what blocks your manifestation the most? What blocks off that co-creation with Source?
Right.
The foundation of all of this is faith, right? Faith that it is already done. Matthew 17:20 tells you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to that mountain, to that thing, to that, struggle, whatever it might be, move from here to there, and it will move. But if you do not think that it is possible, that God can do that you can co-create that with God, that you can have that experience with God, that all things are possible, you're not going to have it. You have to stop doubting what God can do in your life. And when God steps in, when Source steps in, when the universe steps in to help you, let it help you. Ask for it. It will happen. It will appear. You just have to have a little bit of faith. And another story that Danielle and I have really talked about a lot the last, I think a month, this story, you and I have just really talked about it. It does. And so we were like, okay, we've got to share this. And I really think this is kind of how we're going to end the episode, because it is such a strong story. And it is about the woman in the Bible that was bleeding. And she is a great 12 years.
I was going to say, I think it was 12. It was over a decade. Yeah.
Yeah. And she is a great representation of this concept right here. And you can find this in, I mean, of course, I think it's in Matthew, I think it's in Mark, and I think it's in Luke. But what it is, it's describing a woman who had been suffering for bleeding for 12 years. She had spent a lot of her money on doctors and she was only getting worse. No one can help her. She believed within herself that if she could just touch Jesus's garment, just a little tiny thread, she would be healed. And when she touched the hem of his clothing, the bleeding immediately stopped. And of course, if you know the story, Jesus turns around and he's like, hey, who touched my clothes?
He felt it.
You know,
yeah.
He felt he felt the energy. He felt that movement, right? And you know what? It wasn't that it's not that he didn't know. It was that he felt something and he wanted to bring awareness to everyone around him of her faith, to say, okay, you touched me now. Will you come forward? Will you claim that you have been healed? And he said straight to her, your faith has made you whole. Go in peace. And I think that this story really represents that when we co-create, we can't even fathom the power that we have when we can co-create with God. Because I'm going to tell you something. You are part of this equation, and God will not move if you have no faith. I would say that, and even saying this mustard seed, right? It's 80% faith and 20% maybe God moving, right? It's all faith. Everything is faith. God is faith. So if you're going to ask for something, you want to manifest something, you want to co-create something, when you go to source, when you go to infiniteness, when you go to God and you ask, hey, I really want to have this experience in my life. Please help me. Please help me have this experience. It is done. It is already done. You have already started to move what I like to call the chess pieces. The chess piece has now been moved, and buckle up and be ready, because so many things are going to start to come into your life, and be prepared that it may not always be what you think it is, but always to look at it right? Always to look at it as an opportunity, as something to say, okay,
what can I learn from this?
From this, yes. And this is a gift. This right here, and we may not want it. A lot of the gifts we get, we're like, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to do that.
Prayers along the same lines. Yeah,
exactly. Like we look back now and we're like, oh, I'm glad I didn't get that. Thank God I didn't get that. Right. Because that's how my life would have been. So everything is always happening for a reason. It's always teaching us something. And always remember that faith is really the core of all of this. And I think also understanding that, but also I want to give you guys something to really take away from this at the end too, is start really observing your thoughts. And I know, Danielle, this was something that we did with you when we first started talking. And I said, hey, listen, I want you to do this simple practice, is just start observing your thoughts and writing them down. Don't judge them. Just notice what's going on and understand that if you can see the correlation from your thoughts to your life, then the awareness alone is going to drive some sort of shift in your life. And then really after that, you're kind of off to the races. Now, there is a lot that happens once this starts to take place. Danielle knows that. You know, there are times when I have a lot of clients call me and they're like, what is happening? And so just know that, right? Just know. And I did the same thing with my mentor. I still do sometimes. I still call him and say, Satish, what the heck is going on? And he's like, it's all for the good. And I'm like, okay, you know, and so this is the thing. We always need a mentor. We always need someone that we can go to bounce things off of, to remind us of who we really are and not to stress the little stuff, and that everything's really going to be okay.
And I just want to kind of put a cherry on what you said about keeping track of things. And I have been trying to lose my quote unquote baby weight for a decade and a half now. And I finally found a program that works, and, mainly weightlifting, but also like keeping like a food journal. And I don't do it all the time, but just what I found out from tracking my food is that there were things I thought were healthy that were not, that I was sabotaging the amount of calories I thought I was consuming. Now, think about that in terms of your thoughts. When you start, and you don't have to be maniacal about it and write down every single thing, but just having that awareness will show you, oh my gosh, I spend a lot of time thinking about something that probably won't even happen. I mean, most things we worry about don't. No. Instead of spending time thinking about, okay, I'm going after this. What do I need to do today to get closer to that goal? If your goal is to lose weight or to have a better budget, to have a clean house, are you doing things that are moving you closer towards that goal? Or are you worrying about it and thinking it's never going to happen? Because look, I've had a household for X amount of years and it's always been the same. Yeah, it's always been the same. Are you happy with that? Because if you're not, this is where all of this comes in. And you don't have to throw yourself in 1,000%. You can, but you can start paying attention, like you said, to your thoughts, because let's see if I can remember this. It's important to discipline your thoughts because your thoughts become your actions become your habits become your lifestyle. And so when you break it down into that, your thoughts are so important, and having the discipline over that will be life-changing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you and I have both experienced this, and we have multiple other people that we know that have experienced this. And what I think is really cool, Danielle, is that our families are now experiencing this. And this is why I always say the woman is the heart of the home. And I'm telling you, you may not even say one word about what you're doing, and you are like an eraser. You are the ripple. You will rub off on them somehow, some way, with little increment changes in your life, and you'll start to see small little shifts in everybody. And then before you know it, your family is absolutely at peace. I mean, vibing. Everyone's joyful. Yeah, vibing, right? Yeah. Vibing, right? Yeah. All the energy. And that's what that means. Vibration. When people say, oh, I like your vibe, they're feeling, this is a whole nother topic that we're going to probably talk about.
Yeah. I'm going to keep my mouth shut because we could go off in that other direction.
Yes. So exactly, vibe. Your vibe feels good, right? And that's what we're trying to reach for all the time. And I think we will do an episode on that one because it really does correlate. Yeah. Maybe that'll be our next one. I don't know. Maybe we just called it
vibe, energy shifts. That's a whole nother rabbit hole.
It is. All right. So we really want to thank you all for being here and staying with us and listening. And we're really building the groundwork for other topics that we're going to be talking about in the future. We would love for you all to share this podcast, like this podcast, comment on this podcast, send us an email and tell us, hey, I really liked when you talked about this and I want to learn more about that. Can you do another episode on that? Or, hey, will you do an episode on this? Or you may have a question, or, hey, Brooke, Danielle, how can you help me go through some sort of transition that I'd like to have in my life? And we have our email down at the bottom. We have all of our information. You are more than able to reach out to us on probably every social platform you can find. Send us a message and let us know if we can help you in any way. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.